In this video we are going to change the cam belt, which is located in here on a Honda Civic, and I have to just remove the plugs here and the coil pack, undo the 4 rocker cover bolts, lift up the cover just enough to get the top of the cover out here, and we've got the rest of the side cover below the fan belt, and that's our next operation. Now we've undone the studs here, bolts on the rocker cover, 5 of them there, and we just pop up the valve cover like so, and we'll pop out the top cover, stud out there, stud and slitter sit there. Now our next step now is slacken the bolt and alternator, one and one at the bottom, and undo the butterfly screw down there. Put a bit of oil. Now, covers up, as I said before, you just pop out your cover, just undo a 10mm bolt there, on there, just let it sit, and then we'll undo the alternator bolt there, top and bottom, one to bottom, and then let off your adjuster nut, then we'll remove the belt. So that's the next operation. Now to undo this bolt on the crank, you'll have to take off this cover here, insert the locking tool, goes on like that. It locks the flywheel. You just insert it there, put the bolt through here, and then big spanner on here, and you pull for all you're worth, and that'll slacken the front pulley nuts down fairly tight. They always are. So once you have them slackened, insert your air gun, off she comes. So then remove this pulley here, and we will undo the front cover. Right. Now we have removed the bottom cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 studs. And the next step now would be to take a bolt out of the alternator off your bottom bracket. The alternator hangs on one side. And remove the engine mount. We've already taken off the top mount here. 1, 2, 3 studs here. Wiggle her out. And use a jack and support the engine. And we'll take off this mounting, and there's a stud on here, and there's 2 on the side there. So it's our next operation. Now we have the covers off, alternator off, alternator bracket, engine mounting off. We can get access now to the belt, so we'll get the old belt changed. Just unplug the plug here, then lift off your last timing cover. It's just left. You just pop that up there and you're taking out the top cover. So you have your bottom pulley, off your covers, engine mounting, and alternator bracket. You just leave your alternator hanging there. Make sure there are no live wires touching anywhere. And our next operation now would be to undo the tensioner, set up timing, and mark her first before we take her off, and then we will unslacken the tensioner, put the tensioner back, lock her up, and remove the belt, put on a new one. That's our next operation. Now if the old belt removed, just remove the little electronic pick up the bottom there, and wind back your tensioner, and get someone to hold it back for you, and then just slip off the belt. Make sure you mark your timing before you take her off. bottom pulley, top pulley, and on this occasion we're using a blueprint time belt replacement. So we check the two belts the same length and same amount of teeth. So we will install our new belt. Make sure it's on the correct way. Just set her on here on the top first. Then we'll jack her up and put her on the bottom, and then put her around the water pump there. And we'll check it and double check it and crank her by hand then to make sure she's right. And that's our next operation. Now you have installed the belt on the bottom pulley, put her around the tensioner, around the water pump, and just push back the tensioner. Just ease her on here, keep her tight on this side. Once you have her on, just get her ripped on and push her on. And you go. And check your time marks. That's correct. Now, when you're doing that, you'd have to, your two hands, you'd be letting off the tensioner a bit there to get it on, you know. So we check your marks again. She's lined up on there, and she lined up down here. So now we're ready for reassembly. Now, just check our marks lined up. And reinstall our pickup. We'll tighten it up, then we'll crank her by hand. That's just the tensioner. We'll just check the tension's correct once we crank her around one revolution. So our next operation now is tighten this and tighten the tensioner nut, and then crank her by hand and then recheck the time. Now our new belt's installed right. Got our tensioner checked, tension checked here, and we'll line up the marks. So what we'll do then, big nut onto the wheel, select 5th gear. We will crank the engine by the front wheel here, anti-clockwise. So the wheel's going forward, select the 5th gear. Just checking the marks. Round twice. That's one revolution. And she's lined up there. And she's lined up here. So that's her marks checked. Now we'll put the covers on her and reassemble. Now we have bottom cover on. Make sure you push the wire through the hole in the top cover, plug in your plug, and then you wiggle her down into place. Lift up the valve cover and get there. Let the wiggle there. Cover under the valve cover. Get her lined up. And this is a two-hand operation again. I'll get this camera in my hand again there. Now we've got their timing cover on, top and bottom, tightened up. We'll now install the bracket for the engine mounting. So just a wee tip to keep the 3 bolts on here, alternator bolt on here, before you install it, because you won't get room to get in after you put the bracket in, because there's no room between the chassis leg and the side of the engine. So that's our next operation now, to install this bracket. Now we have refitted our engine mounting bracket, engine mounting alternator, and then we fitted our covers, top and bottom. Then we tighten up our rocker cover again. So we'll just check these studs, and just check all your studs again, and then we'll put on the fan belt and the bottom pulley. So that's our next operation now. And don't forget to install the wee key and the pulley and the crankshaft. So that's our next operation. Now we've reinstalled our pulley and inserted the key, some Loctite, and we'll tighten up the crank bolt here. We've also installed our bracket for the alternator. So we'll tighten it up, and then we'll reassemble the covers. Put our locking tool up in here and tighten it with the big long bar. Now we'll tighten the top alternator bolt. And we have reinstalled our spark plug coil, the coil pack here, and all tightened up, tightened the rocker cover. We'll start her up and run her and check it for leaks, make sure there are leaks in the gasket, and just double check all our nuts and bolts, and we'll throw on the wheel again. And that's our next operation. Now we'll install our key. We'll recheck the bolts with a hand bar, and then we'll fire up. That should be the job complete on the Honda Civic 9003 model, 1396cc engine. Now we've checked all the nuts and bolts, polish, checked the old belt tension, tighten the alternator, tighten up the wheel, and we'll fire up now. I like to pick the time belt change on the Honda Civic Type R 1.4, and it's 03 model. Again, this job should be left to professional, it's not a job for DIY, so just an idea how the job is done. Now I'll do a little sticker on it, on the bulkhead here, and it'll mark down the mileage. So we have checked, ran the engine, no oil leaks. So we'll just check the oil level, water level, and it's the job complete. That's your time belt service on your Honda Civic Type R 1.4. Now we have reinstalled our power steering belt, alternator belt, and we've adjusted her by hand here, and then check the tension, tighten her here, tighten this bolt, then tighten the top bolt. And with this nut tightened up, and put our cover back on here, it's all tightened up. So our next step now is to put her down and shove on the wheel. I'm going to put our cover on here to keep the muck out. Somebody didn't replace the cover before, so this cover has to be got back on again.